while ago, I had to walk away from one of my best clients. I'm talking long-term, reliable client and someone that I genuinely enjoyed. Someone who had been a huge part of my income for over a freaking year. And I had to let them go because they fell in love with me. And that's what we're talking about today, parasocial relationships. So quite a while ago now, we went on a full in-depth deep dive of a podcast episode on this, which I'll be sure to link below. But if you are wanting just a quick bite, a quick dip into everything parasocial relationships, this is going to be the video for you. So in adult content, connection is a part of the freaking job. It's a part of our job description. We talk to people, we flirt, we make them feel seen. Sometimes we offer personalized attention as a service, right? Okay, but there is a line where someone stops understanding the business dynamic and they start believing they have a real, genuine relationship with you. And when that happens, it can get messy as all hell. Welcome on back to Creator Spicy Tea, y'all. Today we're getting into what parasocial relationships actually are, why they end up happening and why they end up happening so frequently, and what red flags to watch for, and how to protect yourself without feeling cold or distant with every freaking client who comes and talks to you. So what is a parasocial relationship? That is a one-sided emotional attachment. Think like a fan or a follower or a client. They feel like they know you deeply, truly. Maybe they feel like you're their best friend, their girlfriend, their soulmate, their twin flame, whatever, but you do not feel that same way because at the end of the day, we're working and we are the creator and they are engaging with our content and our services. And honestly, little bits of parasocial attachment are normal. You can watch somebody online for years and feel like you know them. You know their personality. You know their jokes. You know their story. You might think, I would totally vibe with that person in real life. Our brains do that. We see someone often enough, hear them talk, watch them enough, share parts of their life, and they start to feel familiar. But the issue is when that feeling of familiarity turns into expectation, right? So when someone thinks your replies mean they have a special place in your life, when they believe paying for your content gives them access to your time outside of what they purchased, and they start feeling entitled to your attention, your emotional availability, your personal details, or your real-world life, these are the big red flags. And in adult spaces, this can happen faster because intimacy is already a part of the product for a lot of us. But clients have to understand that they are paying for a service based on intimate themes and not buying a relationship with us. So why do people develop parasocial attachments? Usually it comes down to loneliness, repetition, and access. People want to feel connected to someone. They want to feel seen. They want to matter. And if they are lacking that connection in their real life, sometimes they start looking for it online. And that is when a creator can somehow, in some way, become way more important to them than they ever intended that person to be. Then, right, okay, we add in how often they see us. They see our face every day. They hear our voice every day. They know what kind of content we make and they see that every day. They see our little thoughts and our tweets and our random stories everywhere. They know what we are doing because we are posting that shit online all day, every day. That is our job. But our job can make someone feel like they are a part of our life, even if we have only spoken in a client and creator capacity. And then you keep moving from there. When you do reply to them, it can feel huge. You respond to a comment, you remember something they told you, you send a thank you message after a tip. Suddenly, it starts to feel like this personal bond is developing there. Again, that can be normal client interaction. In fact, parasocial relationships and learning how to navigate and manage those is crucial and a very good way to boost your income. But, there are some things that should make us pause. So let's go over the red flags. So one of the big red flags is intense oversharing. So this can look like somebody unloading their everything, every single problem in our DMs. They expect you to help them through relationships, family issues, loneliness, depression, everything. You can care about somebody without becoming their therapist. You can be kind without being responsible for them emotionally. You do not have a license in psychology. Possibly you do, but you are not acting as this person's licensed therapist, nor are you being paid for that reason. So don't put yourself through that. Let them know you are grateful for the connection you have, but you cannot be the one to hold all their things. You only have so many spoons. So another big red flag is pushing for more. They want you to tell them your personal shit. They want you to move your conversations to your personal platforms. They want more one-on-one time, but no, they shouldn't have to pay for it. They're special. They're always trying to get an exception. So the moment somebody starts acting like what you already offer is not enough, pay attention, because there will always be another push. You give them that crumb, now they're coming for the whole ass cookie jar. You also want to watch for excessive messaging. We all know that client who sends a ton of messages. We all have that client. We all do. Maybe it starts as friendly. Maybe they're a regular and you enjoy talking to them. But here's the line. When you're waking up to giant walls of text, guilt-tripping you for not replying fast enough, or feeling like you have to manage somebody else's emotions in your fucking inbox, it's gone too far. Okay, and so then the next red flag is the relationship language, the I love yous, the pet names that are way too much. The comments about how you're the only person who understands them and you're the only place they find connection. That does not always mean someone's dangerous, but it does mean they are building you and them up to be much bigger than what is actually happening. Another sign of this is excessive tipping. That could be another warning sign. I'm not saying tips are bad. No, tips float our boats. They are part of how many of us make our money. We appreciate them. We need them. But if somebody starts spending outside of their means or acting like the money means you owe them more of yourself, that's a problem. And let's talk about the really scary end of parasocial relationships too. If someone goes too far and is trying to find your personal accounts, showing up everywhere you are online, asking questions that make it clear they are tracking your real life or trying to find out where you are, that is a real safety concern and must be taken seriously immediately. We do have tools online, obviously. We can block, we can mute, we can restrict and report. But once it starts moving into the real world, we have a lot less control, right? So that's why protecting our personal information matters so fucking much. Use your stage name. Be thoughtful about what details you share with everybody, individually and en masse. Pay attention to the little breadcrumbs you are leaving online. One detail might not mean much, but combined, someone determined can piece together a whole lot. So be sure to give this video a watch. I'm going to put here all about staying anonymous online for a refresher on that. So parasocial relationships, they can also burn a creator out so fast. People don't understand that this labor is emotional labor. We are already making content, editing, posting, marketing, managing, everything, and trying to take care of ourselves. Then on top of that, we may have clients expecting us to be sweet, flirty, supportive, funny, emotionally available, and ready to respond. That's exhausting. It's so exhausting, and it's a recipe ripe for burnout. And when someone gets too attached, it can start to feel like you're scared to take a break. You're scared to respond late. You're scared to say no because they might get upset, unsubscribe, or stop spending. And that's how people can start pushing and pushing and pushing past their own limitations. And then to the client, what was once, oh, I got away with that, is now expectation. And you cannot carry that for dozens, hundreds, or thousands of people. So what do? Okay, we set our boundaries early. We decide what kind of access we are comfortable giving our clients. We decide what we do and do not want to share, how much one-on-one interaction we can handle without draining ourselves, and then stick to that shit. You cannot control whether someone develops feelings, but you can control how much access they have to you. Use mass messages when you need to. Keep your private conversation structured, and don't let someone turn your inbox into their therapy session, their unpaid therapy session. When you see the signs that somebody is getting overly attached, pull back early, okay? Don't wait until you are already exhausted, resentful, or nervous to respond. And that all brings me back to the client I had mentioned at the top of this that I had to let go. And I'm going to talk on that. He was a genuinely good person. I enjoyed talking to him. He was one of my best paying clients for a long time. And everything seemed fine. It was reliable income and reliable company. But eventually, started leaning way too heavily on me for emotional support. It became daily, it became intense, and then at the same time, they started spending more and more and more and more. And then I realized this is not sustainable for this person. So I asked him, what's going on? What are you doing? And he was honest. He didn't have much connection in his real life. He was getting a huge amount of emotional fulfillment from me. And then the I love yous started. And I knew it was like, okay, we gotta step back. We gotta be okay with letting this one go. I wasn't scared of him. I didn't think he was a bad person. I genuinely care about him. Present tense. But I also knew in the moment that I could not keep being the thing, standing in for the real connection that he needed to build in his real life. I could also not keep accepting that level of money and the responsibility of that much emotional dependence for somebody. Okay? So I told him we needed to take a big step back. I appreciated him. He'd been important to me and my business and my life, and I told him I could not be what he needed. And he understood. It sucked. It fucking sucked, you guys. It was sad. It was hard to lose somebody I liked and a major source of income. But you know what? It was the right choice. When you have to address a parasocial relationship, shit's not easy. You can be clear, though, without being cruel. Okay? You do not need to humiliate somebody. You don't need to attack them, and you don't need to act like their feelings make them a terrible person. A lot of people who develop these attachments are just lonely. They may not even really understand how far down the rabbit hole that they have gone. You can acknowledge that something is difficult for them while still holding our fucking boundaries. We can say, I really have appreciated your support, but I cannot provide this level of interaction. You can say, I need to keep our conversations within my work boundaries. You can say, this dynamic is no longer healthy for me and I need to step away. And every single one of those are valid and in no way demean the client. But just a tip, okay? Just from experience, don't leave it vague, okay? Because somebody who is attached to you can hear vague language and think, oh, I need to just work harder. I need to just try harder. I'm going to get them. I just got to push a little bit more, right? So for your own boundaries and your own protection, keep really clear verbiage. At the end of the day, connection is good for business. It can build trust, it can build loyalty, and it can honestly make your work feel more meaningful. Here's the thing, no one is entitled to you, not because they tipped you, not because they've subbed for a long time, not because they think they know you, not because they're lonely. You're allowed to protect your peace, and you're allowed to protect your privacy, and you're allowed to take steps back when shit starts feeling too heavy and too demanding. You can care about people without carrying them and their issues. All right, y'all. I hope that gave a little bit more understanding on something that can be really fucking hard to navigate when you're actually in the middle of it. Share this with any other creators who you think might need it or who are going through a parasocial entanglement in the moment. Alrighty. I thank you so much for sitting on down with me. Do you guys like my new sign? My partner got me this for our podcast and I'm loving it. All right. Anyway, y'all, stay safe. Stay sane, protect your damn peace, and I hope every single one of you is thriving.